Attention! Parade rest. Well, welcome to another edition of Sgt Dyar's Brief. I'm hoping that you've enjoyed the last issue. Today we'll be taking a look at joining the US 5th, what the US 5th does at some of its events, and also the basic kit in case you're interested or need to be restocking your own. Let's get started. Joining the United States 5th Infantry is really not something that one should be afraid of. Very low commitment group. Typically people come with friends and you can usually borrow equipment. Our events are about 7 in number during the year, including the formal dinner, where we're congratulating ourselves on our excellence, Frozen Chosen, one of the tougher living history events that we do, April Muster, where we run the Hawkeye and prove our mettle, Parade of Sheen Rendezvous, the largest living history event that we do, very public, and the Chippewa River Expedition, where we'll take a route done by soldiers in the 1820s on the Chippewa River. Also, the October Rally is a new event in the fall. It's an excellent one for new members, as well as a few other events scattered in along the way. Welcome. Here what we see is the basic kit of someone that would be coming to any one of our summer events. Now, a few of these things on here, I'll show you how you can cheat a little bit and avoid some major costs. Otherwise, keep in mind that if you are interested, the sergeant is always interested and able to loan different pieces of field equipment. So first of all, right here, we have the roundabout jacket, sometimes called the fatigue jacket as well. That's actually something different. This is the fatigue or roundabout jacket. Well, you need a shirt, typically white shirt, button up will do. And of course you're going to need some trousers. All of this I can make too, or we can have the tailor make it, and that also keeps the cost down. And of course here we have what we sometimes call a pinwheel, but also a Chaco hat. And that is also sometimes called a forage cap as well. I'll show you in a little bit why that is. On your feet, of course, you're going to want wool socks. Wool socks are really great. They're going to keep you warm and dry even when you're cold and wet. And yeah, we wear them in the summer too because they provide a lot of good cushioning. Here we have Jefferson boots. Now the Jefferson boots are brogans. You'll notice have a leather sole, and also because that leather sole, they have basically what amounts to a horseshoe. Now, with these can be somewhat expensive. We're not going to require people to have this, but this would be recommended. Otherwise, a good pair of old dress shoes will also work in a jam. Or if it's nice and warm, just go barefoot. That works too. Here we have two different types of canteen. One wooden, one actually is plastic with a felt around it. Now, the wooden is more authentic, but however, it leaks like a sieve. So typically, we recommend something along the lines of the one on the left. Lastly, over here is probably the most important piece of kit that a person is going to need, their haversack. In here, you're going to keep your plate, knife, fork, and also tie your cup to it. And here we have a version of our plate, knife, and fork. Keep in mind, all of this we can make, or we could borrow to you as well, just in case we want to avoid some of the other costs. All right, I think it's time for me to change into my roundabout jacket to show you the rest. Well, typically it isn't that easy, but you can see how the service jacket plus the forage hat comes in handy here. Also show the forage hat, sometimes called a forage hat because soldiers could put their food into it and also could have used for foraging, stuffing it and taking it along with them when they're looking for food. So, a little bit about the dress uniform and Chaco over here that now are on display. This is something you can also get. We typically wouldn't have that or recommend that unless you're planning on making more of a commitment to the US 5th. All these uniforms, by the way, are heavily influenced by the Napoleonic Wars. This hat was worn by soldiers similar in the German army, also very similar to civilian hats of the 1820s. Of course, the dress uniform and high bell-crowned Chaco here, those are basically copied from French uniforms. So the last couple items here with your uniform and kit, something that you'd want to consider when you're coming here is how you're going to sleep. Now obviously a wool blanket is going to be absolutely a great night's sleep, and I usually sleep on one of those just for starters. However, another piece of item that you're going to want to have probably is some sort of ground mat. In that, you could probably, I typically use this, and I know this might be considered cheating, but it really does help keep the nights a little bit shorter. I've put this into what it's called a canvas tick, and this is pretty authentic. And also, you hardly would even know that it's got a piece of styrofoam in it. Lastly, when you come out, sometimes you might want to have a backpack. This is a backpack that was used, or a similar one that was used during the War of 1812. There are more modern backpacks that are black, but essentially they work the same. So, lastly, you say, well, I've taken the time and I've got my kit together. How do I store it? Well, first of all, you want to take care of your kit. All right, so I'll be showing you in later episodes about how to do that, but essentially a couple common rules: hand wash and air dry. Hand washing and air drying is the one way to make sure that these are going to stay together. Storage for these, make sure everything's nice and dry, and of course you could just throw it in your barracks. Now, if you don't have a barracks, I'd recommend a tote and keeping everything together. If you don't have a tote, well, honestly, something that really works well here is a canvas bag. These canvas bags are cheaper than dirt, and you can definitely get all of your items in and bring them to the events in this as well. Heck, this would probably even make a pretty decent tick too. So, with that, I'll be changing back and I'll join you for our closing. Okay, well, hopefully you learned a little bit and you enjoyed yourself. Next time, we'll be taking a look at the School of the Soldier with basic drill. Until then, hot, dismissed!